All righty, time is 11 minutes away from 8 and 11 away from 8. As you know, basically I'm a sticky beak and I like to get around and see what's happening around the district and, of course, all sorts of things happening in the Dubbo and Wellington area at the moment. Mayor Mathew Dickerson, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Kerry. How are you going?
I'm good, actually. It's this time of the year. I love this time of the year because it's not too hot and it's not really too cold at the moment, and it's just nice.
Exactly right, and that's actually making a lot of things happen around the region because people love that weather. So on the weekend, for example, really hectic weekend, we had a motorbike rally. You would have seen a few motorbikes going through your neck of the woods because we had about 2,000 to 3,000 motorbikes lined up along Talbot Street on Dubbo on Saturday. But as you drove around the region, lots of people told me they saw all these groups of motorbikes. Now, these are bike-ers, not bike-ees, just to make sure there's no fear that people might be in some trouble as they walk down one of the main streets of Dubbo. So, very friendly atmosphere, people out for just a good time enjoying their motorbikes. But that's a huge event. It's only its second year in its running because they had a couple of years with COVID where it couldn't run, but the whole street was just packed out with motorbikes. Fascinating walking down there and having a look at it. But the other thing that was just giving you an idea of where we're headed in our modern community, our modern society, we had the Multicultural Festival down in Stewarttown, and that was fascinating as well. There were stalls there were people doing a whole range of multicultural dances, and it was a really good indication of just the melting pot that we're becoming, not only in Australia, Kerry, but in this entire region. And then to follow that up on Saturday night, we had a Bangladeshi dinner that we went to, and that was, again, quite interesting just to see this group that have been doing it for a number of years. So many Bangladeshi people are living in Dubbo now. They have a dinner together, and it was Wesley Hall was packed out with people from Bangladesh.
That is an amazing thing, isn't it? Because it, and integrating in the society, but then again, also, looking after their own culture as well.
Well, that's the important part, I think. You want them to be Aussies, you want them to be part of Australia, but you don't want them to lose their background or lose their culture. And while I'm on the subject of culture, it's a perfect segue across, Kerry. One of the things that I was very privileged to attend last week was the repatriation of some Aboriginal ancestral remains around the Wellington Caves area. Now, these remains were dug up over 100 years ago and they were put away in a museum. Some research was done on them, but they've been sitting in the Australian Museum for, more than 100 years. And they actually got to rebury them around the Wellington Caves area. Now, you can imagine, very solemn, very special event, and obviously for myself to be invited along as someone from non-Aboriginal background, to be invited along to watch that ceremony and not be part of it, just sit there on the sidelines and watch. I felt very special with that, but obviously a very important day for Aboriginal people to have people returned back to their land, back to their nation.
I think that's wonderful. Just in Wellington, just a quick one here out of left field. The library outdoor living room, that looks like a pretty good facility there in Wellington.
It is a good facility, and thank you to Andrew G for the money that he gave to council for that particular project. But it gives you an idea, Kerry, of how libraries are changing. Obviously, this little thing called the internet came along, and that sort of made libraries a little bit different in how they could operate because you didn't have to go and borrow a book and take it home and read it anymore. You could access so much more information online. So libraries have been changing over the years to try and accommodate the modern society we're living in, and this is another step forward. So this is an area that's outside, still a library environment. You still got to go through the library to get to the outdoor environment, and it's still a quiet area, but you could actually just have a little bit of noise. So we could have a meeting together and discuss things in an environment that's a safe, nice environment, but still somewhere where you could actually have a conversation. So it's just another step forward where libraries will be, and I don't know where they'll be in 50 years' time, but I guarantee they'll be different to how they are now.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing. I really do, because I'm a great library fan.
Yeah, good.
I'm also a great book fan as well.
Yeah. So the other thing, to get you around, sorry, I've got one more quick one. E-scooters. E-scooters are being trialled down around some areas near Sydney, Newcastle, Wollongong, some of those areas down there. But we've actually applied to be part of the e-scooter trials. So at some stage in the near future, we don't know when, we don't know exactly how it'll operate, but all councils were sent a letter to say, would you like to be part of an e-scooter trial? We actually hassled the state government many years ago because segways and e-scooters are illegal on New South Wales roads. So we hassled them many years ago to say, we'd love to do segways around our river walkway, and we weren't given permission to do it, but we might be able to do e-scooters around the river walkway and maybe pushing the envelope a bit further, actually do segways as well. So that'll be a great way for you to get around.
I think so. Thank you, sir, for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kerry.
Talk to you later. There we go. Mathew Dickerson, Dubbo Mayor.